So welcome to Hertz, love Hertz, and we were able to choose between all of these cars. They are all electric. Oops. And as you see, we're choosing this one. So let's see how it is. So this is our feedback for driving Kia EV6 while visiting family in South Carolina. We had some small issues while starting the car, charging the car as new users for this model and this electric car, but overall we enjoyed it, and in the next minutes you are going to hear more information. Enjoy!
Good morning from Greenville, South Carolina. We're here with the Kia EV6. We are charging right now at the Electrify America charging station. We just plugged in at 17% state of charge, and we're not getting that fast of charging speeds right now. Unfortunately, we're only getting currently 78 kilowatts per hour, which this car can take over 200 kilowatts per hour. So I know the battery temperature is cold because we just drove over to the charging station first thing in the morning. The car had been sitting all night, and so the battery temperature is cold. This is a rental car, so I'm not exactly sure how to work battery preconditioning on the Kia, but right now the battery temperature is cold, and so it's not getting the fastest. I think this is the reason why it's not getting the fastest charging speeds. Although I'm just looking now, and I think the battery temperature is warming up, because right now the charging speed just increased to 126 kilowatts per hour. So I think as the battery warms up, the temperature will also increase. Right now we are at not quite sure what the state of charge is, but we're 27%, so we're still on the bottom, towards the bottom end of the battery. We'll probably stay here 30 minutes, try to get to 80%, and then we will disconnect and move on to the next charging location. So we rented this car from Hertz in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when we picked up the car, the infotainment system indicated there was an average of 2.7 kilowatt miles per kilowatt hour as the average. So whoever had this car before us obviously had a nice fun time. It was also in sport mode, so yeah, I'm sure they were racing around Charlotte or wherever they were at, enjoying the acceleration of the Kia EV6. But since that time we've been driving it normally, and the average has improved. So over the past couple of days, the average has increased to about 3.7 kilowatts per hour, and that's just basically driving around town using the regenerative braking system. So just a short amount of time improves the average efficiency of the car. We plugged in at the Electrify America station here at 17%. We've been here about 20 minutes, and right now we're at almost 60% state of charge on the battery, a little over 60%. So the battery started out cold, so we were not getting the fastest charging speeds. We're at a 350 kilowatt charger, and we were only getting started out at about 77 kilowatts. As the battery heated up after a few minutes, it increased to about 127 kilowatts per hour, and we've been here, like I said, about 20 minutes, and it increased to about 150, a little over 150 kilowatts per hour. Battery's still not at the optimum temperature.
And now it's again back to 130.
So the battery is obviously filling up. So I think the peak on the battery is around 60%. So at about 60%, the speed starts to drop again because the battery's filling up. So the curve on it is about 60%. But yeah, still pulling at 64%. We're still pulling 129 kilowatts, which I think is still pretty good. The 800 volt system on the Kia EV6 is obviously one of the best on the market at the moment, and so one of the positives or one of the best things about this particular model and the Kia and Hyundai electric cars in general is the 800 volt charging system. So they get you in and get you out really quickly.
Do you like it so far?
So far, the driving dynamic of the car is very sporty. We own a Volkswagen ID4, and I would say that comparing the two cars, the EV6 is a bit more sporty, the steering is a bit more tight, the suspension is a bit more tight, but it drives really well. I mean, when you go over bumps, when you go over, you know, those nice potholes here in South Carolina, they go through them very delicately, so you barely feel them, which is really nice. Although it sits lower, so lower than the ID4. The Kia EV6 is more based on a car framework in the sense of it sits low, it's a bit more sporty feel to it. The ID4 sits a little bit higher, so it has the more SUV type feel to it, but both drive very comfortably. One of the things that, and we can touch on this in another video, is choosing the drive modes in the Kia is a bit different than in the ID4. It took us a bit to kind of learn how to put the car in drive and put it in reverse, but yeah, after that initial kind of learning experience, it's all, you know, pretty easy right now. I would say that using the infotainment system, using the navigation, the native navigation system in the Kia is relatively easy, although we haven't been able to connect our phones using Apple CarPlay, which is a little bit disappointing because we prefer the Apple CarPlay system over the native navigation system. So we've been using the native navigation system, but we would prefer to use Apple CarPlay if we could. What's interesting is our phone is connected to the system, so we can play music using music from our phones, but it doesn't connect to the navigation system. So that's a little disappointing, but overall, pretty good experience so far.
And here we have one station that is charging Volvo, and just for your information to see that we have 65 kilowatt per hour. The charging time is 23 minutes. So state of charge is 69 as of now. Charging cost is $15.84, and the energy delivered is 35 kilowatts. So you see that here the speed is a lot less. I mean, it's really low, but we don't know the driver what she has done. And here it is, the EV6. Now it's 68 kilowatt, but we charge for 28 minutes, 84% now, and we started at 17. So in general, this is the total that should be charged.